In the 1970s, as experimental personal computers like the Xerox Alto were being developed, engineers needed a way to connect isolated machines into a local network. But that required a method for multiple uncoordinated users to share a single communication medium. The conventional way to allocate a shared channel was to divide it into static pieces. Using frequency or time division multiplexing, a network gives each user a dedicated private fraction of the total bandwidth. That works for continuous voice calls, but computer data behaves differently. Data traffic is extremely bursty, with peak-to-mean traffic ratios reaching 1,000 to 1. A computer sends a rapid surge of data, then sits completely silent. Queuing theory demonstrates the flaw of static allocation. If we divide the channel into equal slices, a node with a heavy load overflows and bottlenecks its assigned lane, while bandwidth assigned to quiescent nodes lies entirely empty. No one else can use it. If we instead pool that variable traffic into a single shared channel, the math changes. The mean delay for a divided channel is n times worse than if all the frames queue into a single dynamic pipe. But this creates an engineering problem. In a single shared broadcast channel, any node who makes full use of the channel interferes with other users. The network requires a mechanism to determine exactly who gets to speak next, without a central coordinator to direct traffic. The earliest attempt to resolve this was a system developed at the University of Hawaii called Pure ALOHA. It operated on a single naive rule: let users transmit their data frames the exact instant they are generated. Without coordination, frames inevitably occupy the channel simultaneously. If two frames overlap by even a single bit, a collision occurs and both are destroyed. This creates a strict vulnerable period. Any traffic generated between T0 and T+2T will hit our test frame. As more nodes join the network and generate traffic, the probability of 0 frames being initiated during that exact vulnerable period shrinks. Assuming traffic follows a Poisson distribution, we can calculate the exact success rate. This graph shows offered traffic versus throughput. Under pure contention, utilization maxes out at exactly 18%. Any increase beyond that causes an exponential spike in collisions, collapsing the network. To exceed this mathematical ceiling, network protocols cannot rely on random chance. They must adapt to the physical properties of the transmission medium itself. In 1976, researcher Bob Metcalfe built upon the ALOHA concept to design the first local area network, Ethernet. It ran over a single, thick coaxial cable and replaced pure chaos with strict listening rules. The protocol introduced carrier-sense multiple access. Before transmitting, a node must physically listen to the wire to sense if an electrical signal, a carrier, is present. If the channel is busy, it politely defers. But carrier sense is limited by propagation delay. If node A transmits, that electrical signal takes time to cross the length of the wire. If node B checks the wire a microsecond before node A's signal reaches it, node B falsely senses silence and begins transmitting. The two signals overlap and a collision occurs. When node B detects that the signal it is reading back from the wire is different from the signal it is putting out, it instantly aborts its transmission and generates a 48-bit noise burst, a jam signal, to ensure the sender does not miss the collision. That jam signal must now propagate all the way back to node A. In the worst-case scenario, node A will not know a collision occurred until time 2 tau, twice the full propagation delay of the cable. This creates an engineering paradox. If node A transmits a very short frame, it might finish its transmission before the jam signal makes it back. Node A would falsely conclude the frame was successfully delivered. On a maximum length 2500-meter classic Ethernet architecture operating at 10 megabits per second, the absolute worst-case round-trip delay is nearly 50 microseconds. To guarantee that a transmission is still actively taking place when the noise burst returns, the transmission itself must outlast the delay. At 10 megabits per second, that requires a minimum size of 512 bits. This is why Ethernet strictly mandates a minimum frame size of exactly 64 bytes. The software rule is dictated entirely by the speed of light through copper. Once a collision is detected and both nodes abort, they must retransmit. If both nodes wait the exact same predefined amount of time before trying again, they will collide in lockstep over and over again. The decentralized solution to this is an algorithm called binary exponential backoff. After the first collision, each node waits either 0 or 1 time slot at random. If they pick the same number and collide again, the interval expands. They now choose a random wait time from 0 to 3 slots. After 3 collisions, the window expands to 7 slots. It scales exponentially after every consecutive failure, maxing out at 1023 slots. This forces the network to adapt dynamically to its own congestion. It ensures near-instant transmission when traffic is light, but spreads out attempts mathematically when the physical medium is under heavy load. In wired networks, every electrical signal propagates to every connected station. But in wireless local area networks, radio signals attenuate over distance, severely restricting a station's range. This localized geometry creates the hidden terminal problem. Node A's radio range covers Node B. Node C's radio range also covers Node B, but A and C are physically too far apart to detect each other. If Node A is actively sending data to B and Node C listens to the channel, C will hear absolute silence. Falsely assuming the channel is clear, C transmits its frame. Because Node A was already transmitting, both signals arrive at Node B simultaneously. They overlap and corrupt the data exclusively at the receiver's physical location. Passive listening fails because interference in wireless networks matters at the destination, not the source. To prevent this, wireless protocols rely on active spatial reservation, using a protocol called multiple access with collision avoidance. Before sending any data, Node A transmits a tiny 30-byte control frame called a request to send. This contains the exact length of the upcoming data. Node B receives the request and replies by broadcasting a clear-to-send frame outward in all directions. Node C did not hear the initial request, but it does hear Node B's response. Knowing that a station nearby is about to receive a large frame, Node C is forced to wait until the transmission timer concludes. By requiring the receiver to actively stimulate the surrounding airspace, the network creates a temporary, localized safe zone, bypassing the hidden terminal problem. CSMA/CD and collision avoidance are elegant software algorithms engineered to manage the strict physics of a shared communications medium. As networks grew, wired Ethernet evolved away from a single coaxial cable towards star topologies, using twisted pair wiring that plugged directly into a central hub. But a hub simply connects all the attached wires electrically. It broadcasts every frame to every port. Despite the new geometry, the network remained locked in a single shared collision domain, bound by the exact same physical constraints. The structural solution arrived with switched Ethernet. A switch looks exactly like a hub from the outside, but it features independent port buffering connected to a high-speed backplane. When a frame arrives, the switch reads the destination address and forwards it only to the specific port required. Furthermore, the twisted pair cables operate in full duplex mode. A node and a switch port can send and receive data at the exact same time without crossing paths. By isolating every computer onto its own private connection to the switch, contention is eliminated entirely. The decades-old channel allocation problem was solved, not by writing an infinitely better scheduling algorithm, but by engineering a hardware topology that rendered collisions physically and mathematically